Okay, DW Gaming here with the newest patch notes from Dead by Daylight regarding the Alien chapter, which is on the PTB right now. Should be released in, it says release on the PTB August 8th. It's usually 2 weeks after the PTB, so I'm guessing maybe the around August 22nd, maybe around there. Anyway, yeah, so I was just reading over these patch notes. Some of them, once again, look a little problematic, so we shall go over them. All right, new killer, the Xenomorph. Killer power, hidden pursuit. A series of tunnels become available on the map when the Xenomorph is in play. By accessing a control station, it can enter these tunnels to quickly move around the map, detect the presence of nearby survivors, and speed up the cooldown time of its runner mode ability. Exiting a control station tags nearby survivors with killer instinct. So right off the bat, sounds like it might be another Demogorgon type killer with teleporting through tunnels or something. Special ability, runner mode. The Xenomorph enters runner mode automatically when not on cooldown. In runner mode, the Xenomorph walks on 4 legs and becomes stealthier, reducing its terror radius. While in runner mode, the Xenomorph also has access to a brutal tail attack. Now that sounds interesting. So it sounds like it enters this mode automatically. And it's going to be more difficult to detect. That sounds really interesting. Map feature control stations. 7 control stations are scattered across the map. Survivors can interact with these stations to get a remote flame turret. What the hell is that? While the Xenomorph can enter and exit the tunnels underneath the control stations. What is this remote flame turret? Special item remote flame turret. Turrets can be placed in the map to counteract the Xenomorph. When the Xenomorph enters the radius and line of sight of a turret, the turret attacks. This attack staggers the Xenomorph and will cause runner mode to end. If a turret successfully knocks the Xenomorph out of runner mode or fires for too long, it overheats and must be repaired by a survivor. The Xenomorph can attack turrets to destroy them. So what, they're having survivors actually now being able to fight back against the killer? Is this a good idea? I thought, when there was a dev Q&A, I thought they said the last thing they wanted to do, or one of the things they'll never do, is have survivors be able to attack the killer. Now it sounds like that might be a thing. Great. Wonderful. Okay, the Xenomorph's perks. Ultimate weapon. When you open a locker, this perk activates for 30 seconds. Survivors entering your terror radius scream and reveal their position and gain blindness for 30 seconds. That has a cooldown of 30 seconds. I don't think that perk's that great. That doesn't sound like a very good perk. I mean, once again, it's an aura perk where they reveal their position, but why would you use this over, say, nowhere to hide? Because with this one, you're going to be wasting time opening a locker. Where nowhere to hide, you actually gain a benefit from kicking a generator. You see the auras of survivors in the area, and you also start regressing a gen. This one, you're just wasting time opening a locker. I don't see this being used at all. It doesn't sound that great. Rapid brutality. You can no longer gain bloodlust. That is a huge downside. I don't think this perk will be worth it for that alone. Hitting a survivor with a basic attack gives you 5% haste for 10 seconds. Yeah, that's if you can hit a survivor at all the brain dead safe loops in this game. And without bloodlust, it'll be even more difficult to actually hit a survivor. I don't like this one either. Once again, two very lackluster perks for killer. Let's see the third, Alien Instinct. This perk activates when you hook a survivor. You see the aura of the farthest injured survivor for 5 seconds, and that survivor is oblivious for 20 seconds. Yeah, that sounds kind of useful. It sounds like it would be good for if you're trying to ensure that you can get someone else down quickly. Even then, though, it I don't know. It might be worth using. I don't see it replacing any of the perks that are any of the stronger killer perks in the game, though. I don't know. It's kind of like a personal a one survivor barbecue and chili. Whereas you can see the aura of only one survivor, but it's like the injured. So if there are no injured survivors, it's not going to show you anything, I guess. Yeah, that's... Once again, it's very lackluster. All right, three mediocre at best perks, once again. No surprise, considering this development team. I've had a chance to look at some of these perks. They're really kind of problematic for the survivor. Ellen Ripley, because of course. Perks for Ellen Ripley. Lucky Star. When you hide in a locker, this perk activates. You leave no pools of blood and make no grunts of pain for 10 seconds. When you exit the locker, you see other survivors in the closest generator's aura in yellow for 10 seconds. That one, I don't think that's great. I don't think that's very good. I don't think anyone will be using this one. Not a whole lot of excitement from what I'm reading here. Chemical Trap. This one sounds really problematic. After completing 50% progress on any generator, this perk activates while standing next to a drop pallet. Press the active ability button 2 to install a trap. So now they're trapping up pallets. Great. Stays active for 120 seconds. The aura of trapped pallets are revealed in yellow to all survivors. When the killer performs the break action on the trap pallet, the trap explodes and they are slowed by 50% for 4 seconds. That's huge. In a chase, that is huge. You're just going to have to kick every pallet now. Every pallet that gets dropped, you're going to have to destroy. Because this is too detrimental of a movement speed reduction. Especially if you're in a chase. 4 seconds, 50% movement speed for 4 seconds? That's ridiculous. In a chase, that'll cause you to lose a chase. So you're just going to have to pretty much kick every pallet. There's no getting around that. That's not good. Once again, they are enabling survivors to fight back against the killer in some way. I don't like this. Not at all. This is not VHS. Okay? Behavior, it's not VHS. Light-footed. When you are healthy, this perk activates. Your running footsteps are silent. This perk goes on cooldown for 20 seconds after doing a rush action. So basically, they're making another bug a perk where you can't hear footsteps of survivors, especially on certain maps like Eyrie of Crows. Their footsteps are already pretty much silent. So this is great. They're incorporating another bug or a hack as a perk. I really don't know what these developers are smoking. I really don't. New map, Nostromo Wreckage. Explore the mysterious crash site, the iconic Nostromo. Yeah. Visit landmarks, blah, 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 blah. It'll probably be another really badly designed map that favors survivors. I have no doubt about that. Killer tweaks. Let's see. The Knight, Pillaged Mead. Decreases the amount of time it takes for a guard to complete their order action by 15%, was 25. Apparently that was just too oppressive. Who even uses that? No one. I never used it. So apparently having the guards kicking gens at 25% and breaking walls and pallets at 25% was just too much. Tattered Tabard increases patrol time for all guards by 8 seconds, was 6 seconds. But you don't really want them patrolling longer if the survivor runs out of the area. You'll just have a guard being completely useless. I never ran that either. It's a waste of an add-on. Town watches torch when survivors escape guard hunts without being hit 2 times, was 3 times. The Knight gains undetectable stats for 25 seconds. It's still a crap add-on. No one's going to use it. It's stupid. The amount of hoops you have to jump through in order for it to activate is ridiculous. No. Not worth it. The Demogorgon. They're changing some things with Demo for some reason. Let's see. Killer Power. Undetectable after teleport, lasts 5 seconds, was 3 seconds. Okay. Rat Tail increases speed of opening a portal by 50%, was 35%. Yeah, whatever. Unknown Egg decreases the cooldown after traversing the Upside Down by 2.5 seconds, was 1.5 seconds. Okay, so it looks like Demo's getting a buff, but I really don't use these add-ons anyway, so... let's see. Violet Wax Cap increases the duration of the undetectable effect gain when emerging from portal by 1 second, was 0.05 seconds. All right. Lepros Lichen reveals the auras of all survivors while traversing the Upside Down. After emerging from a portal, the auras of all survivors within 16 meters of an active portal are revealed for 3 seconds. Okay. Did that change at all? I'm not sure if that changed at all. Was it? You could see survivors when you're, traveling through the portal, but I don't know if that changed. I don't know. But it sounds like Demo's getting a little bit of a buff. Not much. Very minuscule. PC graphics update. VSync on and off. Okay, whatever. Setting change FPS limit. Okay. Toggle anti-aliasing. Yeah. Resolution option update. Okay, whatever. Bug fixes. Yeah, they have a lot more bug fixes because they have a lot more bugs to fix than just these. I can tell you that right now. You guys got a massive amount of bugs in your game. I don't know why it's just these two. I mean, like Bubba now has Trapper's pickup sound effects. Legion and Doctor still have Trapper's pickup and vault sound effects, but Bubba got them now too. There's just so many bugs you guys need to fix, and like Pentimento. If a survivor cleanses a Pentimento totem, it still shows up as a white totem on the map as if you could rekindle it, even though you can't. These two are not the only bugs, guys. I mean, come on. Maybe stop with all the content for a little while and try fixing your game. You know? I mean, it's good to have content, but it's also good to have a game that actually works. I played a match as Hag the other day, and I kicked a gen, and apparently the generator was not regressing at all, even though it showed the sparks flying and everything. The pistons were still going at the same speed. So there are many bugs in this game you guys need to fix. Now it's time to step it up. Come on. These two are not the only bugs. It's ridiculous. Survivors will now produce a scream of pain when being hit by the death. Why? Okay. Did that need fixing? Were people crying out, let's have the survivors scream when they're hit by Deathslinger's harpoon? Was that something that really needed to be added? Yeah, and the other one, the VHS tape is now properly aligned in the survivor's hands. Ooh. Well, that certainly was game-breaking, the fact that the tapes weren't aligned in their hands. Yeah, you guys are doing a tremendous job. Bots. Okay, bots are more likely to be productive within a terror radius, so they're making bots better again. They've improved when facing killer sidekicks. They no longer attempt to confuse a killer by crouch walking during a chase. Yeah, that was really stupid. They investigate supply cases more often. They now telepathically communicate to avoid multiple bots running to heal or unhook a survivor at the same time. Well, that's what happens in a real game, though. So you're basically giving the bots base kit Kindred. You're basically giving them Kindred at base. I mean, might as well give real players Kindred at base. This is stupid. Because real players don't have this ability unless they run Kindred. They don't have the ability to telepathically communicate with the other players. And I know the bots have wall hacks because I can't get any red glow mind games going against them at certain loops. So in many cases, the bots are actually better than real players. Reverse bear traps no longer cause bots to freeze when the exit gates are open. Yep. Okay. Perks. Blast mine notification no longer appears after a delay. The play with your food cooldown no longer shows in the HUD when undetectable. All right. Nothing really much there. Yeah, just playing in the meantime. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Disconnected players can no longer spectate the game they disconnected from. So I guess they wanted to... Okay, on the one hand, they want to discourage players from disconnecting. Because if you disconnect right now, a bot will take your place. And then the disconnected player can just watch the bot perform as their character. Apparently with this update, they can no longer do that. So on the one hand, they're saying, well, we don't want players disconnecting. But on the other hand, they add bots. So, I mean, which is it? Do you want players to disconnect or not? And there's also the penalty. I think that penalty should be removed. And I think this should be removed as well. Because if a certain player goes against a killer they don't want to play against, instead of disconnecting, they'll just either run at the killer or go AFK in the corner or something. They will find a way to remove themselves from the match. And if they do it in the match by killing themselves on hook or just, going AFK, then the team is already hampered because it's a 3v1. Whereas if they disconnect and a bot takes their place, at least it's still a 4v1. So I think this needs to go. I think the penalty, the disconnect penalty needs to go. They should not be discouraging people from disconnecting if they've added bots to take their place. Because, and I disagree with people like True Talent on this, where if a person wants out of a match badly enough, they will find a way to get out of that match. And if they can't disconnect without a penalty, then they will make the match as miserable for the other players as possible in order to exit the match. So I think, if they're going to continue with the bot thing, they should just remove the penalty, make it so if a person disconnects, obviously the bot will replace them. They can still spectate the match if they want, but they shouldn't suffer a penalty. And that will basically solve problems where it's not a 3v1, it's actually still a 4v1, even though it's a bot. But they are improving the bots. So, and in many ways, the bots are better than real people. So personally, that's what I think they need to do. Just get rid of the penalty. I mean, come on. Otherwise, people are just going to kill themselves on hook if they don't want to play against a certain killer. And in all honesty, I agree with Scott Jund on this. If there are killers like Skull Merchant and people who insist on using killers like Skull Merchant, they shouldn't have the benefit of going against real people. Skull Merchant is a disaster. No real player should have to face Skull Merchant. So that's my 2 cents on it. The only other thing is issue where killers can be trapped in or get on top of the pallet in the Eerie of Crows killer shack. Yeah, okay. So that's it. So this patch will be coming out most likely on the 22nd, I believe. And the killer looks interesting. Ellen Ripley, I've seen the character model. She really doesn't look like Sigourney Weaver all that much, but I don't know. I wonder if they'll get her for the voice. Probably not, but so we'll see how this goes. But already I can see some problematic killer perks and problematic counters to the Xenomorph. And of course, the Xenomorph perks are nothing to write home about at all. So, as usual. All right. That is it for this video. See you in the next.